चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय पुत्र श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुश्कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। We are continuing reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. Swami Prabhu, you remember from till where we have studied? Remembrance?
Sorry, not sure, bro.
You have done all this, no? 26, 28. Show. I've seen one verse where it's visible. Neha Bikramana has to be finished. Then Yamimam Pushpam Vacham also be finished, no? Loknath Prabhu? This is all finished. Loknath Prabhu, did we finish this Dharmartha Kama Moksha? So actually what is visible there, and (39) we finished, it seems. (39). Not finished here. Okay, we'll read from 40. Yeah, this is visible. Brahmana sick to know the Lord by study of the Vedas, by sacrifice, charity, austerity. Did you finish Neha Bikramana House? Lokanath Prabhu?
So I think it's not done, bro. In my PDF also it is open till 2.13.
Okay. So we'll read from here. Neha Bikramana Shoste Pratyavayo na vidyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. So this is a hope-giving verse. Translation says there is no loss or diminution in this endeavor, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous fear. What is the most dangerous fear, Swami Prabhu? What is the most dangerous fear for anyone?
Death.
Death and gliding down to the lowest stages of life. That is the most dangerous fear. So even a small advancement, small progress we make will also save us from the endangered death. That is going to explain by Acharyas also. So in this process, there is no loss by stopping without completion. So don't stop. That's so if at all, without, even if you stop, there is benefit. Means if you don't stop, how much more benefit it will be? No sin incurred in by doing so. One is delivered from birth and death even by practicing a little of the process. It doesn't mean that we have to practice only little. We have to continue to practice. Okay, almost same translation by Valdivia Vishan also purport will read. Activity in Krishna consciousness or acting for the benefit of Krishna without expectation of sense gratification, the highest transcendental quality of work. Even a small beginning of such activity finds no impairment, nor can that small beginning be lost at any stage. Any work begun on the mental plane has to be completed. Otherwise, the whole attempt becomes a failure. But any work begun in Krishna consciousness has a permanent effect, even though not finished. See how wonderful it is. If you say, example I give always, that if you study engineering, there are 26 papers. So you finish 25 papers, all the labs, everything you finish, project and everything. But 25 papers only you passed. They'll give you certificate, engineering, patta. No, they're not going to give. You have to finish that paper also, only then you'll get. Otherwise, you'll not get the certificate. But it's not like that here. Whatever endeavor what we are doing is appreciated. The performance of such work is therefore not at all at a loss, even if the work of Krishna consciousness is incomplete. 1% done in Krishna consciousness bears permanent results. So that the next beginning is from the point 2%. Whereas the mental activity without 100% success, there is no profit. Ajamil performed his duty in some percentage of Krishna consciousness, but the result he enjoyed at the end was 100% by the grace of the Lord. There's a nice verse in this connection, Srimad Bhagavatam. Tyakva swadharmam charanambujam hare bhajan napakotapate tato yadi yatratva kvabhavadramai abhutam kim kimva kovartapto abhajatam swadharmatah. So tyakva swadharnam charanambujam hare. In order to serve the Supreme Lord's lotus feet, even if you give up your swadharma, some people say, meat eating is our swadharma. But if you give up that, it doesn't matter. Even if you chant immaturely, even if you fall, still there is no loss or diminution. Kovartapto abhajatam swadharmatah. Who is there, who will not perform this particular activity? Even though you finish that activity, actually the result is temporary only. If someone gives up these occupational works and Krishna mind falls down in the account of not completing his work, what loss is there on this part? And what can one gain if one performs his mental activity perfectly? Right? We do our jobs, we do our studies perfectly. But what is the use of that? You get a certificate, if you give to donkey will make it a part of his breakfast. No use. Or the Christians say, what profiteth a man if he gain the whole world yet suffer the loss of eternal soul? So this is the most important. Mental activities, the results end with the body, but Krishna consciousness carries a person again in Krishna consciousness. Even after the loss of his body, at least one is sure to have a chance of next life, being born again as a human being, either in this family, in the family of a great cultural Brahmana, or in rich aristocratic family, that will give one further chance for elevation. That is the inequality of done in Krishna consciousness. So lucrative, right? So much promising. So wonderful promise, but Krishna consciousness work is giving. So I'm going to read it.
There are two types of logic Prabhupada explained in the chapter. Activities of bhakti, including hearing, chanting, and other activity, and prescribed duties offered to the Lord without personal desire. Niskama Karma Yoga, which is expressed in later starting with the verse Karmani Evadikarite. Before that, however, bhakti is discussed because bhakti is alone and no other process is beyond the three modes. A person transcends the mode of bhakti yoga. Thus, the statements Nistrayaguna Bhava to Arjuna includes that this section is about bhakti. The nirguna nature of bhakti is also well supported by the segments of the 11th canto Bhagavatam. Note, the 25th chapter of 11th canto explains in many verses how bhakti and things related to bhakti are beyond the gunas. Many of these verses are quoted in Viswanatha's commentaries on verse 45 of this chapter and verse 28 of the 18th chapter. Jnana and karma cannot be said to be nistraigunya because of the presence of sattva in jnana and raja in karma. And the bhakti found in karma yoga in the form of offering one's prescribed actions to the Lord is present there, just makes karma loss its uselessness and bear material fruits. This point of karma yoga does not have the designations of bhakti proper because predominance of bhakti is absent. If one considered karma offered to the Lord to the bhakti, then what would be the designation karma referred to? If if one says that it refers to prescribed karma, not offered to the Lord, that cannot be. For Narada says,
नैष्कर्म्यम् अप्यच्युत भाववर्जितम् न शोभते ज्ञानमलं निरञ्जनम् कुतः पुनः शश्वदभद्रमीश्वरे न चार्पितं कर्म यदप्यकारणम्.
knowledge of self-reflection, even though free from all material affinity, does not look well if devoid of a conception of the infallible God. What then is the use of fruitive activities, which are naturally painful from very beginning and transit by nature? If they are not utilized for devotion service of Lord, the statement includes that karma devoid of Lord is completely useless. Therefore, in this verse and in these verses till verse 45, bhakti, categorized only by hearing, chanting, and other devotion acts, prescribed only to attain the sweetness of the Lord's lotus feet, is being described. Niskama Karma Yoga will also be described. Both of these are indicated by word Buddhi Yoga mentioned in verse 39. In the Fates, Dadami Buddhi Yogantam Enamam Upayantite, Bhagavata 10.10. The word Buddhi Yoga indicates Bhakti Yoga. In the Fates, uh,
दूरेण
Durena,
हि अवरं कर्म बुद्धियोगात् धनञ्जय.
the word Buddhi Yoga indicates Niskama Karma Yoga. Thus, this present verse is a glorification of the process of bhakti with hearing and chanting, which is beyond the modes of nature. In Bhakti Yoga, there is no destruction and there is also no sin.
Incurred. Those in incurred.
No sin incurred. If the practice has just begun and then stopped, if Karma Yoga, however, is begin and then stop, there is both destruction of the fruits of Karma Yoga and sinful reactions as well for the performer. Note the Mima
Mimamsakas say that if the actions are not completed, they bear no results. Further, sin is incurred by not completing the actions. Okay.
but then by non-performance of bhakti, which he is supposed to do, the aspiring practitioner also should not get any results. Whenever little bhakti was there by the initial practice, Salpamapasya Dharmasya, even that small amount will certainly deliver him from the bondage of samsara, mato bhayat. This is understood from such verses as the following.
Yannam sakruchravanaat patkasopi vimuchyate samsara.
Merely by hearing the holy names of your lordship only once, even Chandalas, men of the lowest class, are freed from all material contamination. Srimad Bhagavatam 16.44. And it is also seen in the example of Ajamila and others. One can see that the following statement by the Lord has the same meaning.
Yangopakrame dvamso madharmasopthan vanvapi maya vyavasitah samyan nirgunatvad anashnaha anashishaha anashishaha. Okay, my dear Uddhav,
Because I have personally established it. This process of devotion service unto me is transcendental and free from any material motivation. Certainly, a devotee never suffers even the slightest loss by adopting this process. In the Bhagavatam, verse quoted above, Krishna also shows the cause of
Indestructibility.
indestructibility of bhakti, as it is beyond the gunas. It never can be destroyed. The same reasoning should also be applied to the present Gita verse. One cannot say, however, that Niskama Karma Yoga, even by being offered to the Lord, is beyond the modes of nature. For it is said, Mad
Madarpanam nishpalam va satvik satvich nija karmata.
work performed as an offering to me without consideration of the fruit is considered to be in the mode of goodness. This verse indicates that Niskama Karma Yoga, even by the power of being offered to the Lord, is in the material mode of sattva and therefore subject to destruction.
Anyway, what did you understand, Swami Prabhu? Essence.
Like, main point is that if you do little bhakti also, it will be a great benefit. Like,
The benefit is
removing
that everlasting,
mm,
eternal. It's eternal.
Mahatma.
It's never going to be destroyed. Is a major point. Whereas the karma yoga, the fruits of karma, they are going to be destroyed. Whether bad or good, both can be destroyed. Both will be destroyed. Others say, because they don't have long-lasting effect. Whereas bhakti is eternal effect because and when you don't perform karma, then one point is there. When you don't perform karma fully, then you get the reaction of not performing it. Huh? Let us say now some work is given in your company. So you have done half. Okay. Now what is your officer will tell? Then nonsense, what half? You have not done full. What is the use? Now I have to understand till where you have done, how to continue it. He will only scold you more to do half. Correct or not? Correct, no? But that needs to be completed. Then only it will have some value. Otherwise, no value. He will say, I'll do the remaining thing myself only. What is your half use? Get lost. He will tell like that. So what is the karma? Karma yoga. Results also are like that. Bhakti results are not like that. Whatever you have performed, that is never lost. So that's what is stressed again and again with the different references. Look at read the purpose Baldev.
The Lord praises this Karma Yoga executed with the understanding that will be described. There is no destruction of the power to give results for one who begins the practice of Nishkama Karma Yoga. Described in previously quoted Shruti, Tametam Vedanuvachanena Brahmana Vividishanti Yagnena Danena Tapasa Nashakena. This means that there is no lack of results even if the process is started but not completed. In this process, there are also no negative results. Pratyavyaya. For imperfection in chanting mantras or other components, because all negative effects are destroyed by the power of breathing for Atma and by the name of Bhagavan indicated in Om Tat Sat. Executing even a little of his dharma, Nishkama Karma Yoga offered to the Lord, protects the practitioner from samsara. The Lord later also said, Partha Naiveya Namrut Namutraha, O son of Pritha, he does not meet destruction in his life or the next. One who has done the auspicious work of yoga does not meet the unfortunate end. O my son. Duties executed with desires, executed to the conclusion with all the ceremonies intact, yield results. If some of the elements such as the mantras are defective or absent, the contrary results appear. Desired results do not appear. But actions performed without desire, Nishkama Karma, to the best of one's ability, perhaps not completed and defective or missing elements, yield the result in the form of steadiness in jnana. And because of having the goal of Atma and the utterance of the names of the Lord, no silly will come.
So what is spoken here is duties executed with desire, right? When some desired result is coming, then we execute the duties. So that kind of work is not expected. So we have to render service which without any result, just as a loving service to Supreme Lord. That kind of activities will have eternal effect actually. So that's what we are supposed to perform. So this is Baldev devotion thing also. So that's why the Nishkama karma, that is Bhagavat Arpita Nishkama. We have seen the yoga ladder, right? The Karma Kanda, the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Jnana Yoga, then Bhakti Yoga there. Bhakti Yoga top. So actually the Nishkama Karma Yoga, Bhagavat Arpita Nishkama Karma, almost Bhakti only, that is. It's like Karma Yoga end and Bhakti Yoga beginning is that, without expecting the results. Results for our sense gratification. Results are offered to Supreme Lord. That Bhagavat Arpita Nishkama Karma Yoga is the highest of all. Basically, that is all the Bhakti Yoga. The devotee renders his devotional service out of love for Krishna. Every activity that is done, when it is done with out of love for Krishna, that is being appreciated, and the results of that activity will be eternal. That's what it means. Are there any questions in this regard? No questions? Then we'll start now. Stop, pause today. 241 we'll see tomorrow. It's a very important verse. One can when by heart this verse. Naiha abhikramana shvasti yatyavayona vidyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayati mahatma. So this verse, very important verse, where Prabhupada, Krishna is quoting, Krishna is speaking of this verse as and when he wants to speak about Buddha. Now he is speaking. As soon as he spoke Buddhi Yoga, he spoke this verse. What does it mean? Buddhi Yoga means actually Bhakti Yoga. That's what Acharya said telling. Then Bhakti Yoga, there is no loss or diminution. That's what we are supposed to do. Okay, we'll pause today. Tomorrow we'll continue to read every single day. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.